Here's Carty on camera.
Thomas, delightful to be here to celebrate your special evening. I love being associated with you as a good friend. Fortunately, I haven't needed my family to meet you professionally. I use Wayne professionally, but fortunately I haven't had to use you. Looking forward to getting together with you soon. May you have 5 holes in one the next 5 years.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you. Would you like to say anything on camera for your husband?
For my husband?
Yes.
My adorable husband.
Your adorable husband.
He's perfect in every way.
Yes. Isn't this a great event, Tom?
This is a great event.
Yeah.
We are very honored.
Oh, good, good. Anything for your daddy?
Very proud of Tom. He's a wonderful man and deserves all.
All right. And okay, and Brian, what would you?
I just met Tom at the Home Depot. He was buying electrical supplies. I knew he was a phenomenal surgeon, so I just realized that I would go anywhere he goes with electrical.
That's great. That's great.
Very good.
That's great.
You did a wonderful job of putting this together. I think that's very good. When I was an intern in family medicine back in the late 70s, I had the opportunity of one of my first rotations being on surgery. And in August, an intern in family medicine, surgery is not always your favorite rotation. And I was assigned to Dr. Frazier, who I didn't know at the time, I was new. I came in and I remember some ungodly hour of the morning coming in and got there before he did. And Tom came bouncing into it was down around the emergency room. And I remember thinking, wow, he has a lot of energy. And this isn't a quote, but I remember him saying, I just love my work. I can't wait to get here in the morning. And I was so impressed with that, and I thought, that's what I want to do. That's the kind of job I want to have. I'm really honored to have the opportunity to represent family medicine and to this award going to Dr. Frazier, the McGee-Woodruff Award, really is interesting to me because I see so many parallels between Dr. Woodruff and Dr. Frazier. Dr. Woodruff was in practice in Gladwin and has an extremely successful practice there and gave outstanding care to his patients. It was really exemplary care. And in the early 1970s, shortly after family practice became a specialty, Dr. Woodruff designed and developed the family medicine program for the Bryn Mawr Hospital because he saw that family practitioners needed to really get great training, and we needed to give a high level of training, and we wanted the best we could possibly give to the patients in our community. He developed a program. It became a very big source of pride for the community, for the hospital, and brought a lot of recognition to Bryn Mawr Hospital, and it quickly became one of the best programs in the area. Strat also was an outstanding teacher, not only because he taught well in his patient contacts, but because of the way he lived his life and the way he cared for patients. He was an outstanding doctor, and he was an outstanding teacher and an outstanding human being. I can't think of a better person to get an award with Dr. Strat Woodruff's and Dr. McGee's name on it than Tom Frazier. Tom, and what he's done in terms of breast cancer is just absolutely amazing. And besides doing wonderful things for the world.
So I don't know why I even bother. It's really, I'm just really honored to say a few words on behalf of Tom Frazier. It's always difficult to come at the end of these kinds of remarks because I think the bases have been covered, but I think the hospital has perhaps a unique perspective on this. And I would just start by saying, in my view, I think Tom Frazier really exemplifies some very special qualities in, I would say, 4 critical dimensions. Obviously, the patient care dimension is first and foremost, and as many have said, his impact on the lives of women in this community and people, obviously as a general surgeon before his focus in breast cancer, is profound. I think many of us, travel the the far reaches of this community, and when people understand that you're somehow affiliated with Bryn Mawr Hospital, Tom's name inevitably surfaces, as it does for many of our distinguished physicians here, but it's really very special, and it was wonderful to hear the thoughts of some of his patients on this video. The second, obviously, is, as Dave has mentioned, is his role as a teacher, and that too is a very significant contribution, I think, to medicine, but to Bryn Mawr Hospital as well. And it was several years ago that Bryn Mawr Hospital contemplated terminating our relationship as a preceptor for the general surgery residents from Jefferson and now Drexel. And I went to a number of physicians on the medical staff, and Tom stepped up first and foremost and said, it's really important that the hospital continue its role as a teacher, and it changes it changes all of us. There is a level of staying on the cutting edge. There is a responsibility here, and I think we need to stay part of it. And so Tom's, I think, guidance in that was very significant. And some of you may not know, but Tom developed the first fellowship in breast surgery at Bryn Mawr Hospital, one of just a handful of non-academic centers in the United States to be recognized and certified as a fellowship site. We now have 2 fellows in breast surgery. And again, another very important role and responsibility for the hospital. The third has been mentioned too. Dave mentioned his visionary role. It's one thing to be a great physician. It takes another set of skills to be able to visualize a program and put together the elements of a comprehensive service that treats a whole spectrum of needs for patients. And Tom has had the patience to work with hospital administration to kick us in the rear end, to make things right, and to do things right. And he's just been an exquisite leader with respect to pulling a program together. As I said, it's a very different set of talents, and we're very, very fortunate to have that. And then lastly, and one that I think is equally significant and I think speaks to the relationship that he has with the hospital, and again, it's been said before that Tom, I think, has viewed his relationship with Bryn Mawr Hospital as a very symbiotic and important one. And he and AK have been wonderful philanthropists to the hospital and have given of their personal resources. And Tom is a board member on the foundation, which is the fundraising board of Bryn Mawr, and has personally spent some hours, many hours actually, after his clinical responsibilities and his program responsibilities, strategizing and meeting with prospects and donors to support the hospital way outside of their commitment to the breast program. So